University of Otago researchers have discovered why heart disease is the #1 killer of diabetics. The study was led by Dr Rajesh Katare, a senior lecturer at the university's Department of Physiology, and I'm thrilled to have you here in the studio here, Doctor. This link that you have found between diabetes and heart disease, would you explain the model and how it works?
Yeah, so we know that people with diabetes are prone to develop heart disease, but what we didn't know is when they develop and how they develop. So we used an animal model of type 2 diabetes to identify when actually they developed the heart disease. So we followed up these animals so at regular intervals and took some samples from them, and we found a small protein called Beclin-1, which actually regulates the cell death, is increased enormously in the diabetic animals.
So you found this?
We found it.
This is extraordinary. How did you make this link?
Yeah, we used this, the animal model was one of the good extraordinary models. So when you take this animal model looking for the proteins, we looked at several proteins which control the cell survival. So one of the key protein was this Beclin-1, and this protein seems to be increased enormously.
So this is a symptomatic, a marker, which you can now examine.
The interesting thing is this protein changes before the patients develop any symptoms.
So this is an early warning.
Exactly. So you can't, at the present, the clinicians don't have any clue how to diagnose the disease before the patient develop any symptoms. And if this marker is going to change, this could be a sort of diagnostic marker.
This is significant. How is this? It's a little hard to tea leaf at the moment, but the significance of this is better treatment for diabetics, is that right?
We hope so. So before going to the better treatment, we would say we would be able to identify the disease first, much before. So that gives the clinicians more wider opportunity to treat the patients.
So in a broader sense, like how many diabetics will die from heart disease, the relationship?
So if you look into the statistics which is released by the American Diabetes Association, so 2 in 3 people of diabetes die of heart disease. It's almost more than 60%.
Goodness.
Every year.
So this is a significant discovery for you?
There's a significant discovery.
Worldwide?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. What's the next step in this process? You've got time, what do we do?
That's a very good question. So we also are collaborating with the cardiothoracic surgeons at Dunedin Hospital, who are so kind enough to give us some tissues from the human patients who are undergoing bypass surgery. So these tissues are usually routinely discarded. So we collect these tissue and then look at what's happening within the heart. So that would actually translate our bedside finding to bench. In fact, we have done some samples, but we need to increase the number of sample size.
And you're going to need funding to support this ongoing research.
That's one thing. We need to thank some of the funders like Lottery and Heart Foundation, Otago Medical Research Foundation, and the university's funding, which supported this study. So from now on, we are going to supply to the more bigger funders like Marsden or HRC and the Heart Foundation to get a big project grant.
Very significant development, Dr. Rajesh Katare. Thank you so very much for your time.
Thank you
for
so
coming.
much.